Educational Psychology of the Exceptional Child by Jabari Oliver. The world is full of colleges. People from far and nigh gravitate to an institution of higher learning for one reason: scholarship attainment. Prepare yourself to enter the minds of young black scholars. The conventional young black American male, the young aspiring black female, and the young professional British male. The interviews you are about to witness were conducted by Dr. Helen Oliver, Associate Professor of Education at Lincoln University in Pennsylvania, and by me, your host, Jabari Oliver of Rusk College.
Mum, she wanted me to be able to read and write before I actually went to school, so I wasn't behind, because there was a lot of kids that were in the school when I first got there that couldn't read, couldn't write.
Right.
But I was sort of not exactly ahead, but I knew what I was doing, and
So you had some training at home.
Yeah, Mum. Yeah, because it's just me and her. So she'd put all her time into that, sort of making me able to speak properly and read and write just the basics.
Right. And she read stories to you.
Yeah,
bedtime
obviously. Yeah,
stories,
and I'd read them back, so I don't sound like a parrot, or I can read fluently sort of thing.
That's lovely.
So I knew that from early age. But sort of, I don't know, things that happened at school, say you get not exactly abused, but I didn't, the first sort of time I heard the word nigger or bastard or whatever was by these other white kids at school, and I was I went home to my mum. I was like, what are these names? I don't, what are they? They're saying something against me. And because my mum went to a sort of, a black school, she'd never really, heard of that sort of thing.
Right.
Neither, for a kid to go through that sort of age. So that was difficult, but I used to start getting into fights and things like that because of that. But because I wasn't really stupid, I still used to get on my work, and I knew right from wrong. And so the teacher just told me to count to 10 and just sort of ignore it or whatever, but that was it, sort of thing, in that sort of respect.
As we turn the page to the young, aspiring black American female, in this case Megan Oglesby of Rusk College, notice how diverse her educational surroundings were and how that matriculated her to understand the broad depths of the world around us.
Elementary school for me was from 1st through 8th grade, and of course after that you graduated from the 8th grade and went on to high school. My elementary school also had a kindergarten, but I did not attend kindergarten at my school. The name of my school was called Ambrose E. Burnside Scholastic Academy. It was predominantly black. I really don't remember. The only other children that I ever saw other than black children at my school were white kids, and they were the only white kids that were there, I believe, were the children that were in special ed. So we had a predominantly black school. I had never really been around much diversity until I moved to Minneapolis, Minnesota in January of 2001, and that was my sophomore year of high school. And I'd never been around so many different cultures at one time in one place in terms of my high school. It was very, very diverse. A lot of African Americans, a lot of students from Africa, all over the place in Africa, Ethiopia, Nigeria, Liberia, Ghana, Guinea. I want to say we had close to or at least 2,000 students. So my high school had more students than Rusk College. But there were, Hispanics, I had Asians, a lot of different type of, there were so many different nationalities I've met. I had never known, when you're younger, when I was younger, you think about Asian people, and we know Chinese, and a lot of the time people always, whenever they say Asian person, they always call them Chinese. And although I always knew there was a difference, and I always called them Asian, I never really knew all the different types of nationalities that Asian people had. And so I'm now familiar with Laos and Hmong and Thai. So there's another girl I became friends with in high school. She's West Indian. She was from Guyana. But they look just like Indian people. they look either like they're Indian or they're black, people from Guyana. So I had never, heard of, that nationality or ever met anyone like her. So it was a very diverse place that I was in. I remember one time in high school there was a fight that I saw, well, a fight that almost happened, and it happened to be one of my friends. And he's mixed. His mother is white and his father was black, and he never knew his father. But of course, he identified himself as a black man. And I remember one day, one of the white kids in school called him a nigger, and it was this big uproar, and they would get ready to go find him outside and go beat him down. And I was just like, man, what you get ready to do? Don't get kicked out of school. But nothing ever really big happened out of that, but I do remember that happening.
Compared to Megan, Lewis Turner had a rougher time growing up in Southern public schools.
Well, I can say the educational system in Little Rock was, I say, top notch. Because when you're in Little Rock growing up, you had gang violence, and that was the basis of everything you had. The focus was on just stopping the gang violence. But if you were to learn in that atmosphere, then you have overcome every endeavor that was set in front of you. So in that aspect, you would have the right frame of mind and high aspirations to go further in your education. Well, as far as being a black young man, there was no respect. So everything that you did, it was on you. As an individual, you had to study, to show yourself approved. And I'm not talking about unto God. I'm talking about to the whites. And that's just the basis of it. They treated us differently because, first of all, the outer appearance was more important than what was on the inside. On the inside, we could be the young man, the black young man who wants to be successful, but the white man, he all the high power positions were held by every person of the white persuasion. No blacks had the job, even secretary jobs for the principals. They were all white. So that's what type of environment
even your teachers?
The teachers. You had very few black teachers.
As we compare the British educational map to America's, we get a good scope of the differences between the two with Dale's evaluation of his curriculum.
My grades weren't the best, but they weren't bad. You have to go on and get where you want to go. You have to pass, say more than 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
That's like A to C, and I passed about 7.
Mm-hmm.
So they're from there, and then I liked media, working with cameras and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And after discussing with my mum what I wanted to do, what I was interested in, she says do what I like, not exactly do what I like, but do a subject which I enjoy doing. Because there's no point going into further education doing something that you're not really enjoying. You might be good at it, but you have to enjoy it as well.
Right, absolutely.
And I was good at other things like English, etc. But I wanted to do media because I was more interested in making films and I like watching them, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on to college to study that.
That's interesting. So you studied media. Now, why you ended up at Luton University?
Yeah.
You live in Leicester.
Yeah.
Now there's a University of Leicester.
Mm-hmm. Why did I go to?
And there's a University of Nottingham about 100 miles from here or less.
Well, less than that.
Less than that. It's about 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
Right. Well, why did you go to Luton particularly? Tell us a little bit about that. And tell us when you arrived at Luton. What did it fulfill your expectations? And all that?
When you decide to go to university, there's certain league tables of universities where they're sort of at their reputation, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And Luton was the second or the third best for media in the whole of the country.
Oh.
Obviously, in other lessons it's a bit further down, but for that it's one of the leading courses and institutions to go to. And Leicester de Montfort does the same type of course, and it's only just behind Luton.
Oh, I see.
But really, I thought that I like travelling, I like being in different places, and I didn't see myself wanting to stay in the same place all my life. I wanted to expand and see what else is out there. So I'm sure I wanted to get from different ones, I just wanted to move like away for a bit, get a bit of independence for myself. So I went to Luton, and it's only like say, what, half an hour outside of London, and it's like a direct train line to Leicester, so I could get back easily. And yeah, that was it really. And what sort of like determined that I was going to go to there is because I applied for Bournemouth, which is like the #1, and got rejected. Leicester, just as like a backup there, and this place which is like north of England, called Warrington. But the day when me and my mother was meant to go to that actual place, there was like a storm or like rain or something, like snow or something. There was like some bad weather, like things going on like the rail. So we missed like the open day. I went to the Luton open day, and it seemed right. It's like I said to her, yeah, I think I wouldn't mind going here actually, and she says yeah. So we went.
Stay tuned for more educational psychology of the exceptional child right after these messages.
Rust College Enrollment Services, a department equipped to acquaint students with admission and financial needs. We offer several programs such as Honor Track, Presidential, Academic Dean, and the Robert M. Hearn Scholarship to assist eligible students. With a 1,107 student population, Rust College invite applications for admission from students from all cultural, racial, religious, and ethnic groups who meet the admission requirements. For more information, contact Johnny B. McDonald, Director of Enrollment at 662-252-8000, extension 4085, or you may contact us via email at www.rustcollege.edu.
When you grow up in a neighborhood like this one, getting by isn't easy. Getting ahead is nearly impossible. To escape poverty's vicious cycle, an education is your only way out. This is the story of Perry Brown, a young man who is succeeding where so many others have failed. Perry Brown couldn't afford college, but he knew that an education was the best way to achieve his goals.
I wanted to go to college so I could really make something of my life.
With hard work, determination, and the support of his parents, Perry became the first in his family to attend college. Paying for school was a problem, and still is, but enrolling in a United Negro College Fund school offered him the academic program and affordable tuition he was looking for. If it wasn't for the United Negro College Fund, Perry might not have gone to college at all. And he wouldn't be getting the attention and career guidance he needs. Next year, Perry Brown will graduate with a degree in communication arts, making him the first college graduate in his family.
The going's been tough, but I'll make it, because I've learned that if you have a dream, the only way to make it come true is to go after it.
With your support, the United Negro College Fund is giving deserving students more than a chance to survive. It's giving them a chance to succeed. And for people like Perry Brown, a chance is all it takes.
In comparison to Dale's process of selecting a college to attend, notice how Megan's process is similar.
Well, I always knew I was going to come to college. That was always a goal. In elementary school, I knew I was going to go to college. When I was in elementary school, I wanted to go to Spelman, you know. That didn't happen. But, you know, the world is full of colleges, and there's one that is my own. The story is both of my parents graduated from Rust College. They met here, and they got married, and they had me. My aunt also went to Rust College, my father's sister. She was Miss Rust in 1988-89. So I have a lot of family history here. And so out of the 3 schools that I applied to Rust. And I was accepted to 2 of the schools. The other school, Tennessee State, was actually my #1 choice. That's the school I really wanted to go to. Tennessee State did not even look at my application. They just got so many in that they never even got to mine. And I don't know, that I guess I just took that as a sign from God telling me that I needed to come here. Because even after I called Tennessee State more than once over a period of months, they still hadn't looked at my application. I'm just like, well, you told me that 2 months ago. Why are you telling me this now again? So I eventually told them, you know what? that's okay. You can throw my application in the garbage because I know where I'm going to school. Thank you very much.
Throughout the process of gathering these interviews, I began to ponder thoughts of why so many blacks do not choose to further their education after high school. Along with investigating these questions, I began to gather facts. According to the 1999 Digest of Educational Statistics, black males make up only 11% of the total college population. According to the 2000 National Center for Educational Statistics, black males attend college at a rate of 10.2%, while black women attend college at 13.7%. Also, according to the 2000 U.S. Census Bureau information, only 16.3% of black males have attained undergraduate and or graduate degrees. When studying these facts, one has to think about the causes of the low percentage numbers of black scholars. With that in mind, I began to think of the social aspects of college life and how that influences students to further their education. Here I asked Lewis what lured him to college.
To be honest, my first thought on college, I was not going to go to college. No. But you know, the fact that my father and my mother and my uncles and aunties, they have all went to college and have made a good life for themselves. I felt that it was important, you know, to at least take a chance on it and see how it was for me, you know, so I can know how it was for myself. I think the educational system on the college level was better. It was much better, rather. I've had more freedom, you know, in my train of thought here, because this is basically on you as an individual. If you want it, you're gonna get it. If you just act off and act around and act like it's nothing, then you're not gonna get anything. So, you know, the main focus and goal of the college life is to get something out of it. You don't want to come to this thing and thinking that everything is all peaches and cream, because it's not. You're going to have to work. This is getting you prepared for the real life. And I think Rusk College has done it for me. It has prepared me for real life, and I'm ready for it, to hit it head on.
In comparison to Lewis, Dale experienced a more diverse college setting with fellow classmates from all over the world.
Effect because obviously I'd stayed in Leicester for like, you know, up until I was like 18.
Right, it's a freedom. Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, you know, Luton, and then it only sort of sunk in after about like a month or two that I was actually going to be staying there, and like obviously I'd come home at weekends, etc. But after a little while, like I stopped just to sort of see if I could stick it out to stay, etc. And I did. But
you were in the dorms.
Yeah.
You had a roommate, one or two?
No, there you have, like, you're in like what you call a hall.
Okay.
So you have like, there's like 5 rooms. Everyone has like an individual room for themselves.
Oh, individual room, really?
Yeah, individual room.
And
it's got like a bed, and you can bring like your TV and your stereo and everything else.
Was there a wash basin or?
Yeah, you have like a wash basin.
In that room?
Yeah.
And a bathroom too?
No, you have like 2 showers for the whole flat sort of thing. So I stayed like there, and obviously like in my actual flat there was a Chinese person who just come straight from China, an African person from Africa.
Came straight from Africa.
Yeah, and then an Indian guy from India, because there's a lot of Asians like in England, but this person had actually come from India as well.
Directly over.
Yeah.
Here I asked Megan what was her first impression of college.
My first impression of Rusk College. Wow, I remember driving down 78 with Early Smith, seeing that sign that said Rusk College for the first time. Like, my God. Well, of course, one of the first things I noticed when I, drove on the campus was the A building. And the first thing that I thought, my first impression was like, it's small and it's old. Where is the mall? There is nothing to do. It's so small, and I just expected everybody to just be so country. I really did. I mean, because I had never really, although I was born down here, because of my parents, after they got married, they still lived here for a year after they got married and after they graduated. I still wasn't down here for any length of time to know anything about life here. And although I visited one time, I was still too young to remember anything. One of the first people I remember meeting was Miss Buckner. and she was so nice, and she was wonderful. I still go up there and say hi to her now. She showed me around different parts of the campus. She even took me over to the girls' dorm and showed me the freshman girls' dorm. And when I saw it, I was a little upset. I was just like, I am so not living in here. I was like, this is horrible. It had this horrible mildewy smell in there because they were doing a lot of work in that building over the summer.
As we compare the many educational backgrounds obtained by young black scholars, you may notice the similarities between their various experiences, whether if the gender was different or even their locations were seas apart. All of them seem to have support systems that encourage them to continue their education. I'm your host, Jabari Oliver, and this has been Educational Psychology of the Exceptional Child. Remember, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Encourage education.